They didn't care. Steel band man, you have sticks in your pocket, you would be the subject of police harassment.
At school, I had a lot of problems at school. With my principal, he was an Englishman, and he just couldn't understand why I would want to be involved with a steel band.
Your parents didn't even want you to play a band. You're going to even knock your fingers like if it was a stick playing something at home, because they had it as a stigma to be a kind of badger and thing, you know, from the times with God. Really, it was something like that, because there used to have a lot of riot bands fighting against band and all this sort of thing, you know.
Anytime somebody went to court and the prosecutor said, Your Honor, this is a pan man, this is a steel bandsman. If he was getting 3 months, the magistrate would call him back when he was a pan man and give him 6 months instead of 3.
Long ago, people then used to warn the daughter to talk to no pan man, because they used to say he's a vagabond, he's a barjon, and as long as you're playing pan, he's a barjon.
And you know, throughout my school career, you know, they used to call me John Pan. It was a, you know, so the pan had a little, it was a derogatory term, John Pan, you know. But
They used to describe the steel band as a noisy instrument. The police representing this colonial state, that's the same state that denied these people opportunities for voting, for owning property, for social mobility, for employment, for a decent standard of living. They also tried to suppress the creative expression.
You grew up in a situation where you had somebody being referred to as a barjon because he was a person who wasn't afraid of anybody, wasn't afraid of anything. And he was a defender. We always refer to them as the defenders of the pan.
You know, the people who took to the pans, who loved it, who invented it and so on, they were of a different, what do you call it, I don't know if it's social background or what have you.
And the Bota pan really come from the ghetto, you know, so that had a stigma with it itself.
Well, you have to remember these are gangs. These are boys in gangs in barrack yards with nothing to do.
everybody was claiming their turf, you know, well, we have the best band, we have the best bands, we have the best tune, you know. And people would get into fights because merely discussing the merits and demerits of various bands.
Why did they fight? Over stupid things. Women, you know, a pan. There was a pan that Ellie Minette made called the Barracuda, and Tokyo took it from them and hung it in the tree and said, "You want to come for it."
All the battles between steel bands began to take place with music. And I'm thinking that it is because of competitions like Panorama that most of the hostilities ebbed.
What are the criteria for Panorama? You have the arrangement, you have the performance, you have, that's how the players play, you have the tone of the instruments, how good the instruments sound, and how the rhythm is, the engine room.
The people who play pan now, or even come near to a steel band, wouldn't have done that in the early days.
So for a woman to be in the steel band, it was really rough. You would see more of them in the 60s. One or two, and then in the 70s more and more, and finally now there are more women, I would swear, than there are men playing pan.
Right now is everybody involved in it, even down to the priest and all.
More than that, I think we have something that we could present to the rest of the world by way of steel band, introducing steel band in education.
When I was in college, I went to a band camp, and it happened to be that Northern Illinois teacher, Al O'Connor, was the steel band director, brought all the instruments there as part of one of the classes.
You know, I'm very proud of it that, as you said, such a small country as ours could have music that would be interesting and would be so loved by people in large metropolitan cities.
The pan has taken over the world. They are playing, in fact, there are tuners in America, there are tuners Canada, England, all over the place.
But in Germany and in Switzerland.
In Africa, you get it in France, you get it in Germany, you name it.
So it's spreading all over, and we just need to make sure that we are able to maintain a share of the market.